Hello, this is a quick video before school and I've got my children here to help us with our video on assisted bowing. So, Bea here, how old are you?
9 and I play the oboe.
Yes, so Bea plays the oboe, she's left-handed and she doesn't play the violin, so actually this is quite a good way of showing how a little person's hands look the first time you put them onto a bow, and what you can do as a grown-up, if they let you, to do a thing called assisted bowing, which is like teamwork. Okay, so first things first, we need to get the violin up into playing position. So we go onto the left-hand side, we rest it on the collarbone, and then we're gonna, for this one, we're gonna put it in a more secure position, holding onto the shoulder, rather than putting the thumb underneath and keeping this really free. This still needs to be relaxed, but the main thing for this is that we need the violin shelf to be really secure and make sure it doesn't drop down like that. Okay, that's growing a beard, we don't want to do that. So we keep the violin shelf really nice and high. Then we get the bow and find the balance point. So the balance point is where you can hold it really lightly in your hands. Now the reason we do it at the balance point is then the bow feels really light in their hand. So then keep the violin shelf up, we put the bow on probably the D or the A string, okay, at the balance point. Now, we lift up the arm, okay, and I'm going to put my, my left hand underneath Bea's elbow. And then can you just relax your arm onto mine? There you go. So do you feel that arm weight? That helps the children sort of get a feeling for making sure that this elbow doesn't drop down when they're playing, but having a nice loose arm weight. So her arm is now relaxed onto mine, and I use this hand here just to help support the violin shelf. Okay, so I'm holding up the violin shelf just with this hand, and this arm is now relaxed onto my arm. Okay, so put the violin bow on at the balance point, and we move the hand onto the bow. Okay, so the thumb, the hand should be really floppy, like a floppy bunch of bananas, okay? And then the thumb bends and taps the bit of the wood between, I'm just going to show you here, there's a gap between here, and this is where the thumb comes in bent and goes into that hole there, okay? So bring the hand up, relax your arm onto mine, there you go, good girl. And then bend the thumb. Okay, I'll show it here, so that it goes on there, and then the 3 fingers flop on top. Now already she's tightened a bit because she's wanting to take control of the bow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just move these fingers, tap the first one, move the middle finger so it's in line with the thumb, tap the 3rd finger, pinky goes on top, that's it, fantastic. And now, the bow is still mine, Bea, okay? It's not your bow, it's my bow, and the weight of the bow is going into the violin shelf. Make sure your violin shelf is up. That's it. Relax this arm onto my arm. That's it. Fantastic. Keep this really gentle because I'm in control of the bow, so you don't have to do anything. And I'm just going to pull the bow. And you see where her arm is straightened? I'm not going to go any further than that. And then we're going to push the bow. Now I'm holding the silver bit of the bow, the screw, to guide it in what we call a slow, smiley bow. Okay, so if we just turn sideways, Bea, the bow is in line with the top of the F holes here, and the hand comes forwards a little bit when we get to the tip of the bow, and then we push, and the bow ends up pointing away. Heel comes away, tip comes away. There's another video on slow smiley bows. What we don't want is for the bow to come like this behind. That tends to be what the children want to do. They tend to not want to open their elbow and just pull behind, okay? So let's just go into relaxed position, okay? And just recap. So, violin shelf up. And that's it. Feet apart, that's it, fantastic. I'm going to pick up your elbow, nice and relaxed on me. That's it, oh, good job. Okay, then move your hand onto the bow, bend your thumb. So the thumb's poking through a bit more, so we just bend it gently, and then I'm just going to move these fingers up a bit more. Up a bit more, up a bit more. And now you're grabbing, so just relax this hand, relax the fingers, that's it. So it's a bow cuddle, that's it. And then I'm going to pull and you just surf your hand, hang your hand on the bow. Now gradually, as they get used to this movement in a relaxed way, you can start, it's a bit like training wheels on a bike. You can start to let go, start to let go, start to let go. And what you're aiming for is this to stay nice and relaxed. I'm just mentioning that B is a left-hander, so this is her right hand that she's using. She's a non-dominant hand. There you go. And then have a go on your own. That's it. So what you've noticed is straight away the elbow comes back and the bow goes out here. Yeah? And that's fine. And that's why we do the guided bowing. Most children don't like guided bowing, so you don't worry if this is not possible, but just maybe even for just 2 or 3 tries to get them to get this feeling. Because it's nice to make a nice sound straight away. And then we move back. You take hold of the violin. Relax your elbow. Yeah. Pinky on top. Relax your elbow. And then have a go. I'm just going to let Fantastic. So as the muscles in their hands develop, they will get more secure at doing it by themselves. As I said, this is most children don't like you being, especially if you're a parent, them being in their body space in that way. But it's a really good way for them to make a really nice sound straight away and keep this bow hand really, really loose and floppy. What will happen is when they get given the bow, they'll want to grab it and be in control. And what we're trying to show them is that the weight of the bow goes on the violin. So the violin shelf holds up the bow is at the balance point, so it's nice and light. And then this hand, thumb bent in that little hole, fingers flop over, middle finger is opposite the thumb, pinky on top. Okay, so that should feel totally light. They're hardly... B, can you just try and take the bow from me now? Just pull it down really gently. There you go, it comes straight out of my hand. Yeah? And so that's a really sort of the rest position that we want them to be, their hand to be in. What they will do is hold, because they want to be in control. Yeah? Elbow up, relaxed hand, and we're basically flowing and painting and gliding on the string, and the weight of the bow is actually in the violin shelf, not in the hand. Okay, video number 1. My next victim is just around the corner. Okay.